I promise this is not going to be very long at all. Before I say anything else, I want to thank the Canton High School for allowing Mr. Scavone to invite me up. Thank you very much. Mr. Tom Moran, thank you so much. We had a great time today in the clinic over in the computer room, and thank you for your great work as a sound technician. Absolutely wonderful. You did a great job with a small group, with a combo. Outstandingly well done. Canton Parents for Music, and as is in the program, the very generous anonymous donor. Thank you all so very much. You're very gracious, and I thank you for bringing me up. Three things struck me as I was standing off stage. Well, I guess I could have made a joke right there and said, but unfortunately none of them really hurt me. But I decided not to. Tonight is about mentoring. Tonight is about all these young folks seated here on the stage. That's what tonight is about. And I can think of no greater mentor than Tom Scavone and the folks that I've met here today during my very, very brief and, quite frankly, not long enough stay. I've had just a tremendous time with these young people. And as mentors, I go back to think, in 1968, I was 15 years old, and two friends of mine and I went to hear the Duke Ellington Band. And this was Valentine's Day, 1968. There was already, this is in western Pennsylvania, there was already 2.5 feet of snow on the ground. You all ever get any snow here? It was just wonderful. 18 degrees outside, and it was a real heat wave. And the band played. 2 full sets. There was probably 40 people in the auditorium because the weather was so bad. And we kept bugging the drummer. I mean, when you're a kid, you always go over to the drummer. And he eventually said, look, why don't you guys come back right after the concert and I will introduce you to the Duke. Well, all three of us were just petrified. We're going to Duke Ellington, are you kidding me? We walked back, out of the dressing room walks Duke Ellington with his tie. He tied his own bow ties. His tie undone, he came out smiling ear to ear. He says, boys, I have 15 minutes until the bus leaves. What would you like to talk about? And we stood there and said, and then of course he picked it all up for us. He said, well, what do you play and where do you go to school? Do you study? What do you like to listen to? And he gave us some very sage advice about not ever turning our backs on any style of music, any style of music. Well, Duke got on the bus, and as the years went by, that meant a lot more. Every year that goes by, I think about that meeting and what he actually did, and with meeting some other folks, what it really boiled down to was that Duke was trying to take this art form, that he was one of the great founders. He was taking his art form, his music, and trying to convince us, trying to tell us, look, this is in your hands. It's going to be passed from me to you, and now it's time for me and Mr. Scavone and all of us pass it to these young folks seated here on the stage tonight. And the third thing is that, you know, when we're in school, we have the opportunity to study languages. I studied Spanish, I studied Italian, I'm taking German class right now. These folks are way deep into their universal language of music. They are communicating with each other on the stage. They are communicating with you. You are responding to them. And there is communication all night long here. I can ask you to do nothing more than to just give these phenomenal musicians up on the stage a great round of applause. Thank you so much. I'm just going to do a few subtle little things on the piano before we move